What if one day he wakes up and realizes he lost the one woman he should have held on to forever? What if your silence becomes the echo that haunts him, your absence the space he never fills again? What if you are the one regret he can never forget? There comes a moment in every woman's life when she looks at her reflection and thinks, "How did he not see me? You gave him love. You gave him your time, your energy, your loyalty. You stood by him when it was hard. You forgave him when he didn't deserve it. And still, he walked away. Maybe he thought someone else could give him more. Maybe he thought you'd always be there. But what he didn't know, what he never saw coming, was this. The woman he took for granted is becoming the woman he can never have again." Seneca once said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage," and that's what you've been doing, living through the heartbreak, surviving the silence, carrying the weight of questions that never got answered. But now, it's no longer about surviving, it's about becoming the woman who stops waiting for him to wake up, becoming the woman who rises so high he can only watch from below. Think of a rose. At first, he admired it, held it close, loved its beauty. But over time, he stopped watering it. He let it wither. And when he finally turned around to care again, it had already bloomed somewhere else, stronger, brighter, untouchable. That's you. You were never the problem. He just wasn't ready to hold something so rare. In relationships, it's easy to give too much, to lose yourself in loving someone who never planned to love you right. But love, real love, doesn't come from chasing. It comes from knowing who you are. And once you remember that, once you stop trying to prove yourself to a man who couldn't see your worth, something shifts. You start glowing, you start living, you stop being an option and become the one that no woman after you will ever match. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of your reign. Because you, beautiful woman, are no longer waiting to be chosen. You are learning how to live as a queen. And a queen. She is never the one who's forgotten. She is always the one who's remembered. Forever. If this message touched something deep inside you, if it reminded you of your strength, your worth, your power, then take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are here, pouring our hearts into every word, working hard to bring you the truth, the healing, and the fire you need to rise, because you deserve to feel seen, supported, and unstoppable. And together, we are building a space where every woman remembers she was born to reign. Number 1. The woman who walks away with grace becomes the silence he can't escape. Have you ever wondered why silence feels louder after you walk away? Why your absence can shake a man more than all the words you ever said? He expected your pain to come with noise. He thought you would plead, message, or wait at the same place he left you. But what he never expected was the quiet. The kind of quiet that doesn't beg. The kind that doesn't chase. The kind that makes him question everything. He didn't believe you would really leave. He thought the love you gave meant you'd always be there. But when you stopped explaining yourself, when you stopped reaching out, that's when it started. The echo, the regret, the weight of realizing he lost a woman who walked away, not in anger, but in grace. There's a quote that says, "Your absence will teach him what your presence never could," and that's exactly what's happening. You were his peace. You were the place he came to when the world got too loud. But he took that peace for granted. And now the silence you left behind is speaking louder than all his excuses. Think of the ocean, calm, beautiful, deep. But when it pulls away, everything changes. The silence before the wave crashes. That's the most dangerous moment. You were that wave. You gave him warmth, depth, and devotion. But now, you've pulled away, and he feels it in every corner of his life, even if he won't admit it. In relationships, walking away doesn't mean you're weak. It means you finally chose yourself. And that's strength. That's what he'll remember, not the arguments, not the pain, but the moment you left, with your head high and your heart whole. And now is when you stop being just the woman who loved him. You become the woman he can never forget, the woman he regrets losing forever. Because he will never find your kind of love again. He may search, he may try, but no voice, no touch, no laugh will ever replace yours. So to every beautiful soul listening, your story doesn't end in heartbreak. It begins in power. You are not just moving on, you are rising. You are stepping into something greater. You are learning to live as a queen. Write this in the comments and claim it. My silence is the lesson he'll never forget. Let him feel what it means to lose a woman who chose grace over begging. And if this message awakened your power, take a moment to like this video and subscribe. We're working hard to bring you real, life-changing truths because you were never meant to be forgotten. You were meant to reign. Number 2. He will crave your chaos when he realizes her calm feels empty. What if the very thing he called too much becomes the thing he misses most? What if your fire, the way you laughed loud, loved hard, questioned deeply, and showed up fully, was never a problem, but a power he just didn't know how to handle? He thought he needed calm, but now that calm feels empty, now he craves the chaos you brought, the chaos that made him feel alive. At first, she felt peaceful, predictable, easy, but over time he starts to notice something missing. No late-night talks that stretch into sunrise, no passion that sparks without warning, no woman who challenges him, calls out his flaws, holds up a mirror and says, "I see you, but I also expect more." And suddenly he's not excited, he's numb, because calm without connection is just silence, and love without fire is just routine. The truth is, he confused intensity with instability. He thought your depth was too much, but it wasn't too much, it was real. And now that he's gone, he's learning that real love doesn't come wrapped in comfort. Real love rattles you, it demands your presence, and it refuses to shrink just to keep the peace. Rumi once said, "Don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day your pain will become your cure." That pain you felt when he walked away, it's healing you, it's rebuilding you, it's turning you into the kind of woman who no longer tones herself down to be tolerated. And that lovely soul is the beginning of your reign. Think of a storm, wild, fierce, unpredictable. At first, he wanted sunshine, but now he misses the storm, the power, the passion, the pulse of something real. You were never meant to be quiet. You were never meant to be easy. You were meant to be unforgettable. And now that you've walked away, you are. Beautiful lady, he will look back and realize that her calm couldn't hold what your chaos carried with ease. And by the time that truth hits him, you'll be living so fully, so freely, that he won't even recognize the woman you've become. Because you're not too much. You're the kind of woman a man never gets twice. Write this in the comments and claim it. He will miss the fire he couldn't handle. Queens, let the world know you will no longer dim your light to fit into his small world. We are working hard to bring you the lessons, the truth, and the power to become the woman he regrets losing forever. Number 3. He lost more than a woman. He lost his mirror, his muse, his home. What if he didn't just lose the woman he loved? What if he lost the only person who truly knew him? He thought he lost a girlfriend, maybe even just a phase. But one day he'll sit alone and realize he didn't just lose you. He lost his mirror, his muse, his home, the one who reflected his better side, the one who inspired him, the one who felt like peace in a world that never stopped spinning. And by the time he finally understands it, you will already be long gone. Right now, he may feel sure of his decision. Maybe he walked into someone else's arms. Maybe he convinced himself you were replaceable. But the kind of love you gave wasn't ordinary. It wasn't shallow. You gave him the kind of love that makes a man want to be more. You saw him when he didn't even see himself. You stayed when others would have walked away. And instead of holding on, he let go. He let go of the safest place he ever had, you. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." But he didn't choose to be that man. He chose comfort over growth, easy over real. And now, he lost the woman who believed in him even when he didn't deserve it. He will remember how you made him feel, like he could take on the world. And when no one else brings that feeling back, regret will come quietly, and it will stay loudly. Think of a lighthouse. It stands still, it stays steady, always shining, always guiding, until one day the light goes out. The ship that once depended on it now sails in darkness, confused, directionless. That's what you were, a light, a home, a force. And now that you're gone, he's lost in the very sea he thought he could conquer without you. But beautiful woman, hear this. This is not your ending. This is where everything changes. You are no longer the woman waiting to be remembered. You are now the woman he will never forget. You are stepping into the truth of who you are, not just his past, but his biggest lesson. Write this in the comments and claim it. He didn't lose a woman, he lost his home. Say it boldly, queens. Let it echo in the spaces he left behind. And if this message opened your eyes, if it reminded you of your worth, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are here, working day and night to bring you life-changing truths, because you were never meant to be forgotten. You were meant to reign. Number 4. The woman who stops explaining becomes the mystery he spends his life trying to solve. Have you ever noticed how the silence after a goodbye can speak louder than all the words that came before it? At first he doesn't notice. He thinks your quiet is just another mood, another moment. He scrolls, he waits, he assumes you'll come back to explain, to fix, to chase what's slipping away. But what he doesn't realize is that the woman he once knew, the one who always explained, always justified, always tried, is gone. And in her place stands a mystery. A woman who no longer explains herself becomes the one he spends his life trying to understand. He used to hear your heart in every message, in every late-night call, in every "let's talk." You tried. You opened your soul, hoping he would see it, protect it, value it. But when love feels one-sided, when he listens with ears that don't hear, your voice begins to fade. And when it fades, that's when he realizes it was the only voice that ever truly knew him. The less you say, the more they wonder. That's not just a quote, that's the truth of what happens when you walk away without a fight. He will sit with the weight of your silence, trying to fill the gaps with guesses, regrets, and late-night memories. And the more he remembers, the more he regrets, because words can be erased, but silence, it stays. Think of a locked diary. It's beautiful on the outside, and he once held the key, but he lost it. And now, he's left staring at what he can no longer open. He wants to read what's inside, but it's too late. You are no longer the open book he ignored. You are the mystery that keeps him awake at night. And now, lovely woman, this is where everything changes. No more explaining, no more shrinking, no more proving. This is where you rise, not just as a woman he once knew, but as a queen he can never reach again. A queen whose silence is louder than every word she ever spoke. A queen who doesn't chase, doesn't explain, she reigns. So write this in the comments and claim it, queens. My silence is the mystery he will never solve. If this truth touched your heart, if it reminded you of your power, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're working hard to bring you lessons that help you heal, rise, and take back your throne, because your voice was powerful, But your silence, it's legendary. Number 5. He thought she was the upgrade until he realized she couldn't handle what you carried with ease. Have you ever watched a man throw away gold only to chase glitter? He thought he upgraded. He thought the grass was greener. He believed the new woman would give him more peace, more praise, more perfection. But here's the truth he didn't see coming. What he called difficult was just depth. What he called complicated was just powerful. And the very things he couldn't handle in you are the things she's now breaking under, because she was never built to carry what you carried with ease. He didn't understand it at first. He saw your strength and mistook it for pride. He saw your silence and called it distance. He saw your boundaries and thought you were cold. But the truth? You were fire in human form. You held everything together. You stood beside him even when it hurt. You fought for the love. You protected it. And now that you're gone, he's realizing the truth he was too blind to see. She doesn't have what you had. She can't carry what you carried. And she never will. There's a quote that says, "A diamond doesn't shine in the dark. It shines under pressure." And that's who you were in that relationship. You carried the weight. You stayed loyal. You gave your best even when you were running on empty. He thought the next woman would be easier. But now, when life gets hard, when the storms come, she crumbles, and all he sees is what he gave up. Imagine a house built on rock and one built on sand. You were the rock. You stayed strong. You stayed steady. But he walked away from the foundation and ran to a fantasy. And now, that fantasy is falling apart, because love isn't about ease, it's about depth. And your depth, that's the very thing he didn't know how to value until it was gone. But this story is no longer about what he lost. This is about who you are becoming. The woman who doesn't beg to be understood. The woman who doesn't fight to be seen. This is the moment you stop proving and start reigning. You don't need to shrink to be loved. You were not too much. You were just too real for someone who wanted something easy. Lovely woman, your strength is not a burden. It is your crown. And now is the time to wear it. You are not here to be replaced. You are the one he will regret losing forever. Write this in the comments and claim it. She couldn't carry what I carried with ease. Queens, let the world know you are not sorry for your strength. You are rising in it. We are here, working hard to bring you life-changing lessons, reminders of your worth, and the truth every queen deserves to hear. Number 6. A woman who glows from healing becomes the fire he can't touch again. Have you ever seen fire dance? At first it's wild, chaotic, beautiful, but if left untended, it dies down. But here's the thing most forget. Fire never truly dies. It only waits for air. And once it gets that breath again, it comes back stronger, brighter, unstoppable. That's what healing looks like. He thought you'd stay broken. He thought your fire was gone. But he was wrong. You didn't disappear. You were becoming something fierce. And now, he can't touch what he once thought he could live without. There was a time when you gave him all of you. Your love, your loyalty, your energy. You were always there, ready to talk, ready to stay, ready to fix what he kept breaking. And how did he treat that? Like it would never end. Like your heart was a never-empty cup. He took and took, thinking you'd never walk away. But then, you did. And that was the beginning of the fire he can't reach anymore. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike the one who caused the pain." And that's exactly what you've done. You didn't scream. You didn't chase. You didn't beg. You healed. You got up, wiped your tears, and turned your pain into power. That glow he sees on you now, that peace in your silence, that's not just healing, it's transformation. Think of gold melted in fire. It burns, it bends. But when the heat is gone, it solidifies into something pure, untouchable, unbreakable. That is you now. He sees it too. He sees the way you walk differently, love yourself louder, speak with calm and confidence. And it scares him, because he knows now. That version of you, it doesn't belong to him anymore. He had a chance. He lost it. And now the fire he left behind is too bright to get close to again. Beautiful woman, you were never broken. You were just waiting to burn away everything that was holding you back. Now you don't chase love. You attract it. You don't shrink. You shine. You don't ask to be seen. You reign. So let this be the moment you claim that power and never look back. Write this in the comments and let it sink deep into your soul. My glow is the fire he can never touch again. We're working hard to bring you the truth, the healing, and the fire you deserve, because this is your time to rise, and rise you will. Number 7. The moment he sees you loved by someone else is the day regret finally breaks him. Have you ever imagined the look in his eyes when he sees you loved by another, not just seen, but truly cherished, not just held, but protected, not just heard, but deeply understood? That moment, that's when the weight of his choices will finally hit. Not when you cried, not when you begged, not when you disappeared, but when he sees your smile light up for someone else, a smile he used to claim. That is the moment regret wraps around his heart like chains he can't escape. He always thought he had time. He thought he could come back if things didn't work out. He believed you would always have space in your heart for him. But now, you've given that space to a man who values it, and nothing will cut deeper than watching another man stand where he once stood, doing what he never did, loving you right. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." And now he's waking up to the truth. He didn't just lose a woman, he lost the woman. And no matter how hard he tries, he can never unmake that choice. Picture this: a man who once had the most beautiful painting in the world, but he didn't know its worth. He left it behind, chasing flashy colors and empty frames. And one day, he walks into a gallery and sees that same painting, now shining under the perfect light, admired, valued, loved by all who see it. But it's behind glass now, untouchable. That's you. He may look, he may ache, but he will never touch again. At first, you were the one left behind. But now, you are the one who outgrew everything he couldn't handle. You stopped hoping. You stopped waiting, and you built something so beautiful, so powerful, that when he looks back, all he can do is regret. This is not weakness. This is your rise, your transformation, your crown. Beautiful woman, you are not broken. You are the fire he can never touch again. And queens, write this in the comments and claim it. He lost me forever the moment he saw me loved better. Say it. Own it, believe it. And if this message reached your heart, if it reminded you of your worth, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard to bring you life-changing lessons, because you were never meant to wait, lovely woman. You were meant to reign.